welcome in to be our guest. And folks, we've all been through that freeze that lasted for days where we never got up to 32. And I looked out at my yard and I wanted to cry. So I have a very dear friend, Jason Walker, who owns Pate Landscape. They are commercial. They don't do just regular yards like just us regular folks. They do business. But he is such a good friend. He volunteered to come in anyway and give us some tips on this disaster that we've got after that awful freeze. Jason, thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to start out by, I looked out and things are dead, or they look dead, that I've never seen hit like that before, ever. And I don't know, I'm just looking at it and thinking, well, I don't know what to do. So if it looks dead, should I cut it? Should I leave it alone? What do I do?
Yeah, so the leafy tropical type plants that look dead, they probably are dead. Because they just can't take that freeze for that long. Now the woody stuff that you see lots of brown leaves on, or leaves are falling off of, there's a really good chance that those are just going to be fine. What you can do to check that, if you'll scratch the bark, you just lightly scratch the bark, it'll be green or brown underneath. Okay. And that can tell you a lot right there. You're going to want to prune that dead off, but not now. Let's just wait. Let's wait for it to warm up. And so that's usually like April 15th when you say, hey, there's not going to be another freeze or frost after this date. So that's the kind of date where you can start pruning that stuff off. But for peace of mind, if you'll just scratch it, the woody material now, scratch it, and if it's green underneath, it's alive.
Okay, now you said tropical and regular. Okay, so give me an example of some that are considered tropical and some that you would consider just regular things in our yard.
Well, things that are real leafy, hibiscus, that people love their hibiscus and put them in these containers really took a lot of damage because the containers aren't in the ground, the plants aren't on the ground, they can't hold that heat in. And so, a lot of people love their containers all around their yard, and they might have taken a real big hit, but we're just too soon to tell. Ferns. Well, the ferns have a little more wood to them, so they might be okay, but the bulbs that you think are okay and that are fleshy, they might have taken a hit. But we're not used to this. This is not normal.
I have never in my life, and this is my home, I've never seen that cold that long.
Yeah.
Now, here's my next question. Okay, we might have that come again. There's nothing to say that we won't. How can I protect what I have, or can I? What do I do? I had blankets, I had sheets. Didn't make any difference.
Normally that would help, or that would be enough, but it wasn't this time just because it stayed so cold so long. But covering plants, people have done it for years, and that helps a tremendous amount. If you're able to move them either into your garage or just into a covered area, they'll stay protected more. Or if you're able for next year maybe to have a container that has casters on it where you can roll those heavy containers around.
Right.
That would be a wise investment.
Well, I think so, and I hope we don't have this again, but things change and we go through different cycles, and it's going to happen. I think it snowed here one time in April, if I remember correctly. So
you never know.
Well, now, okay, so then let's go back over this. We actually don't want to cut things back right now because you think some of this will re-sprout and survive, right?
Yeah, and you don't want to cut things back now, and we typically have a warm period in February, and things start to sprout out just a little bit, and then you get that hard freeze again in March.
You're so right.
You just want to wait till April.
Okay, so we're going to shoot for April the 15th before we do anything. If you want to pull some of those leaves off, that's fine. Something's you've checked it and it's not green, the stem, it's brown. I wanted to ask you this. There was one more that most people have, hydrangeas. What's your take on that? with the freeze.
Yeah, so hydrangeas, they're pretty tough, you know, especially if you had them in the ground, part of your landscape. You know, they may have some dieback, but they'll come back, and they'll, you know, may take them just a month more, but they'll get back to what they were. You know, even if a lot of times, if they died back to the ground,
Right.
they'll come back from the ground.
Right.
So
okay.
yeah, I mean, it may,
Chrysanthemums, I noticed. Mums, I have some mums, and I noticed they're like from the pot up, dead as a doornail. But I see some little green leaves coming up from the bottom of the pot.
yeah, there's hope there.
There's hope for all. You have been so encouraging, because I was so depressed, and I'm sure everybody out there was, because it was a lot of damage.
It
well,
was.
you know what? We're going to have you back, and we're going to talk about when April the 15th comes around and you pay your taxes. You can also do some other things that you need to be doing. And we'll talk about spring and what we need to do, because y'all, God always gives us a rebirth in everything. And thank you for being with us. And Jason, it's been such a pleasure. You're a Marine, you're former president of the Lions Club, you're involved in all kinds of things, and these are the people that make a difference. And it's so nice of you, even though you only do commercial, so don't call him to come do your home yard. But thank you for coming and sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you, I enjoyed it.
Okay, and we'll be right back.